All right, welcome, Real Estate Principles class. I have our guest speaker, Piper Moreti. She's a real estate professional out of Torrance, South Bay area, and I will let her introduce herself. Welcome, Piper, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely, Piper. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for having me. And hello, everyone. How many people do I have here on the call? You're about 14. Awesome. All right. Well, before we get started, I've got a screen share here that I'm going to do. I just want to know. I mean, you can put it in the chat, or unmute yourself. I just want to know how many people are actually trading right now, or just completely new to this space. I want to know everybody, what everybody's story is, just so I know. Sound is not clear. Someone made man. All right, hold on. Is that any better? No.
I hear the voice clear.
What was that?
I didn't hear the voice clear.
All right. Okay, and it's not any better.
Okay.
It's better now.
It is? Okay. My system gets, but let me know. My system gets like, right. Okay, my system. All right, thank you. Okay, my question was, who's trading, who's not, who's new to, like, brand new to the crypto space? I want to see just who's holding. Does anybody say, okay, you're a little bit new, right? New, okay, great, thank you. Anyone else? Great. Doesn't matter if you're new or you've been again. All right, cool. Great. Oh, I know a lot of newbies here. Okay, this is awesome. Okay. Because I go through like a lot of like beginning stuff, and I just want to make sure that I'm not being redundant. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen. There's my screen. Oops. Sorry. Like a million tabs open here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just stop every, I don't know, few slides, I guess. I kind of have a hard time on the chat and things sometimes. So Patrick, if you wouldn't mind, like keeping an eye on the chat, or even just unmute yourself, I'm totally fine with that. I like to keep it conversational, so everybody's engaged. I don't like to, give. Oops, I don't like to give like stuffy slide decks, just to figure and hear myself talk. I want to have a conversation. So, all right. So without further ado, I will be talking about buying and selling real estate with cryptocurrency. Again, any technical issues, please let me know. My computer seems to be possessed. So this is what we're going to cover today. We're just going to cover like an overview of blockchain, what the escrow process is like, how the crypto is converted within real estate transactions, cash and wallet transactions, payment processors that we use, tax implications. Blockchain in the very near future is a really, really cool space. There's so much possibility and so many opportunities. And then also how to be a crypto agent if you're studying to get your real estate exam or get your real estate license. So here's a little bit about me, and I'll tell you actually how I got into this. My first client found me when I was, oh gosh, I think I'd only been in real estate for about a year and a half. I've only been in it for about 7 years or so. So I'm still relatively new compared to a lot of people around here. I've been in it for like 30 plus years. So he, this guy finds me, and we get our first transaction done, and it was crazy getting that done because it was the first one in Southern California. And then after that, we realized that we could actually do this, and so we did 3 more. So we did 4 total with that client, and I did another one up in Santa Barbara, and that's when I got into the space. And then I thought everybody was doing this. I had no clue. I thought it was maybe the game or something. I didn't know. And it just kind of snowballed from there. Like a local people got a hold of it, and then International Blockchain Real Estate Association found out, and then they invited me to New York, and then I spoke at their 2nd annual conference, and then God, it just took off. Like Forbes got a hold of it, and what was it, Commercial Observer, I think. So many like Tier 1 publications got a hold of it, and so that just kind of like, put me on the map, which I was completely surprised about. And then I went down the rabbit hole and researched what blockchain was and how all these new tech companies and how it's not just real estate, but all kinds of different industries and verticals. So I'm in it. So yeah, now I still do regular real estate transactions. That is the bulk of my income is just plain vanilla real estate. I love it, but I do specialize in conducting real estate transactions with crypto. There's not a day that goes by that I don't have a conversation with someone about transacting in crypto. As far as I know, I'm the only realtor in California, maybe even the states, that has completed 5 Bitcoin transactions. I am licensed with EXP. I really like them. I'm on a year now. They're very tech forward. The CEO is a huge blockchain crypto proponent, so that's why I really like them. I'm also the chair of the LA chapter of the International Blockchain Real Estate Association now, so that's kind of fun. And I've spoken at Inman, all over the place now. I spent 2018 and 2019 kind of flying all over the place talking about blockchain crypto real estate. And then these are all the features that I've had, including the 8 influential women making headlines, which was a total shock to me. There you have it. All right, so here are some of the basic terms I'm going to be speaking about tonight. Blockchain. I know everybody's heard of it. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to tell you. If you Google it, these are all the buzzwords that kind of come up. It's digitized, it's decentralized, it's public ledger for all cryptocurrency transactions. It's the backbone of where crypto lives. It is yes, it's for record, it's for digital record, but it's also so much more. Cryptocurrency, it's really huge now. It is a digital currency, and with encryption techniques, cryptography, came from, are used to regulate the generation of units of currency and verify the transfer of funds. And then when I talk about fiat, that's really just government-backed money. That's all it is. It could be anything, USD, pesos, whatever. And then tokens in crypto are sometimes interchangeable, but they're a little different in some respects. So tokens, they represent a fungible and tradable digital asset, which is also cryptocurrency, but it's also created to fulfill another purpose besides functioning as a form of monetary exchange. So it could be rewarded in tokens on a certain platform that's just, it's the native platform. Burger King, for instance, had its own that Whopper coins that you can trade out for, fast food. And then we've got NFTs, which are all the rage this year. Non-fungible tokens, meaning that each token is unique and it can be used to represent real-world items such as artwork, music, and, of course, real estate, digital and real-life real estate. God, there we go. So to blockchain, like I said, it is a distributed ledger. And it is decentralized. So it's distributed among hundreds, maybe even thousands of nodes and nodes. I'm not going to test you after this, so don't worry. But it's decentralized. It's not dependent on any one single entity. So like a bank, for instance, that's centralized. Everything goes through one server, so to speak. And it's immutable. And so that means the record timestamp and they can't be changed. They can be updated in another block, but they can't be changed once they're up there. And it's used as a digital form of record keeping. Now, most states have adopted blockchain as a legal form of record keeping. There's not a whole heck of a lot of them right now that are actually implementing it right now. New York State came out about a month ago and said that they were going to start getting land records up on the blockchain, which is perfect for something like this. We needed that a long time ago with say Hurricane Katrina when all the records got wiped out. Another important thing to note is that you're able to have a blockchain without a token. So just for record keeping purposes only, but a token has to have a blockchain. Do you have any questions so far? I know it's like kind of getting more fire hose. I can't see my chat. This isn't letting me look at the chat. Okay. All right. Oh, wonderful technical issues. Can't believe it. Sorry, guys. I got so far ahead. Okay, so we did that. Sorry, I'm not having a good night technically. All right, so this is a really good illustration of what other components of a blockchain. So here's our blockchain, in the cloud, or however you want to describe it. These are all the components that make up this particular blockchain. So think of it first as a Google Doc, let's say. You put the information. I don't care about the coding behind it. I mean, some people do, but by and large, you don't have to be a techie to know any of this stuff. But I know that when I enter the information, it's going to be there. So I know that this is like kind of abstract for a lot of people who are especially new. But it starts with the miners. So if I send $10 to Kendrick in the form of Bitcoin, $10 worth of Bitcoin to Kendrick, it's going to get verified by a miner. And they basically look at, they verify the transaction, say, yep, that's $10 going to Kendrick's address, and then they verify that transaction. Now, those miners form a consensus. So if I give $10 to Kendrick in Bitcoin, it's almost like giving it to him in front of 10,000 people in like a football stadium, let's say. Everybody looks at it and says, oh yeah, that is $10. That's moving from this address to that address. All right, we verify that, and then they timestamp it. All right, and then that is a hash mark, and it's an alphanumeric code that basically just references that particular block and says, okay, Piper gave Kendrick $10, and then it's up there, and then you can't change it, like I said. If it can get updated, say in another block, say for instance, if you're working with land registry or title, and something's like weird with the title, and there's always like human error that's involved. It's never going to be completely perfect. So there's a way to update it in another block and then reference the original block. That makes sense. And then it's a P2P network. So if I were to Venmo Kendrick $10, it's got to go through my Venmo, it's got to go through my bank, and it's got to go through his bank, and then he gets it in about 2 to 3 days. So if I gave him $10 worth of Bitcoin, he gets it in a matter of minutes because there's no intermediary. It's all of this. I know it seems like a lot, but it's really all peer-to-peer, all these working together to send that money. All right, so crypto, we know it's a virtual currency. Bitcoin is the most famous. It was the first. It was created in 2009 by a person or persons named Satoshi Nakamoto. And the whole point was to do away with the banking system. That's pretty much why it's here. You can read the white paper, it's very short. So what happens is when the miners verify a transaction, Bitcoins then are unlocked and added into circulation with every verified transaction on the blockchain. And it uses encryption to maintain security and prevent abuse. So Bitcoin is it's actually old technology now. Again, 2009, it's a long time. It's 12 years, almost 13 years now. And it takes a lot of computing power, and it is not green whatsoever. They're working on maybe programs to lie on top of that blockchain to try to make it a little bit more efficient. But you would have to have, so in order to take over that type of computing power, that type of network, you would need 51%, which I'm sure you guys have read about, heard about. And that just takes like an immense amount of computing power, and it's darn near impossible to do. So other coins, other than Bitcoin, because it was the first, called altcoins, even Ethereum, that's an altcoin, Litecoin, Doge, Shiba Inu, name it. There are thousands and thousands of other coins out there that are altcoins. And then we've got security tokens versus utility tokens. I'm not going to get too heavy into that tonight, but just so you have the vernacular, the security token, those are governed by the SEC, no doubt about it. And then the utility token is something like Ethereum, that's kind of used for currency. There's no shares that are really being sold. Kind of a fine line sometimes. But then you've got, Bitcoin versus Ethereum. All right, so Bitcoin, first of all, like I said, first to be created, definitely the most popular. It's kept on a public ledger. The Bitcoin blockchain is solely for transactions. That's it. It's just for sending Bitcoin. There's no smart contracts or anything like that, as opposed to Ethereum. And it's, like I said, it is proof of work. There's a lot of computing power that's needed. There are only 21 million coins in existence. We need to update this. It's almost 19 million are already released. So, once the 21 million are released, that's it. There's no more. And the idea of it was, there's a finite amount that's being traded, and the price will only go up from there, making it way more valuable. So Ethereum, in contrast, so this guy, Vitalik Buterin, I'm probably butchering that name, but he was popular. I think he was 18 at the time, and he was working for Bitcoin magazine, and he was writing for Bitcoin magazine. And he knew the ins and outs of the Bitcoin network, and said, you know what, I can do better than that. So, I wasn't doing that at 18, but anyway. He co-founded Ethereum, and he laid another programming language on top of it that uses smart contracts, and that is what actually revolutionized this whole blockchain ecosystem. I mean, the Ethereum blockchain is basically what a lot of prop tech platforms, DeFi platforms, what NFTs are pretty much run on. I mean, it just changed the game completely. And it started in about 2015. It is a utility token, according to our government. It's used to create applications, not just enabling a digital currency, although the Ethereum is the native coin to the Ethereum blockchain or Ether. It is proof of work, but the Ethereum 2.0 will hopefully move it over to proof of stake. Again, I'm not going to get too far into the weeds here, but proof of stake takes way less computing power than proof of work. And then they just continue to add tokens to the marketplace. They add about 18 million per year, and there's no issuance limit. And now there's halving and more user is burned, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around this whole thing. I am not expected at all. But I kind of understand it because it's like in the vein of currency and money and all that. But when it gets into these forks and the people having and all that, I kind of have a grasp. But there's Ether that's being burned in this whole thing, and somehow, I don't know, the way the consensus made it, it's driving that price up. Well, hey, that's all I care about. I just care about the price. Okay, so the biggest question I get from my fellow realtors is why even bother with this? Because it seems like a big pain. How come? What's wrong with the system we have right now? Well, there's a lot of stuff wrong. But for now, it is a new era of investors. It's a brand new generation that they can't stand banks. There's a lot of newfound wealth out there, especially just in the last year. And it's gone up exponentially even just from a year ago. And just think if they were trading even before that, so there's a lot to be had, and they want to take this kind of volatile currency and they want to put it in something more stable like real estate. They want to diversify, which is really smart. And there is a little bit of a loophole of not having to season the funds through traditional banking. I'll get into that here in just a second when we talk about conversion. And the transaction times are very quick and very direct. There's no underwriting period. We don't have to wait on regular, contingencies and all that. I mean, it's very fast, and you can get it done. You can get the conversion done in a day. All right, so I guess you guys, you kind of have a handle on the escrow process. I'm assuming. So during escrow, I'm just going to talk like Bitcoin to cash. It could be if my payment processor takes Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and I think Dogecoin now. So those are like the main coins. I'm just for the sake of argument, I'm going to do cash. Sometimes the funds are changed outside of escrow, and that's what I did in like 4 out of the 5 transactions that I've done so far, because I didn't have an escrow company that was set up to do this. They said, we'll take care of everything else, but we're gonna have to figure out how to change the funds. We did, and it worked out, thank goodness. But if it's if it's $1 million transaction, and your buyer is spending $1 million in BTC to buy this house, it's treated exactly like a cash transaction. Title and city council taxes are the same. Proof of funds can be a little tricky, but it's getting a lot better now. My very first client literally had to take a selfie in front of his computer to prove that somehow that wallet was his. It was nuts. But now the Coinbase and Gemini, they all have your name at the top. They're all verified. You can actually verify that that is indeed your exchange, your wallet and all that. And you can take screenshots and say, okay, I've got this money and this wallet and all that. Now, since then, I have 2 escrow companies here in Southern California that can convert, that can do that. And one actually works as a sub escrow to title companies all over the country. And she's got a nice little thing going for herself. So that it makes it so much easier to have someone who's willing to work with a title company outside of California, because I don't know, there's got to be, I think there's a title company in Florida that does this, but I don't know of any other companies that do this, that make the conversion. I'm going to stop for questions. Is there anybody before I get into wallets and wallet? I know it's like, again, it's like drinking from a fire hose.
So class, and any questions that you like to ask so far up to this point, feel free to ask either in the chat or unmute your mic, please. I'll be monitoring the chat, by the way, Piper, so no worries.
Oh, thank you. Because it's like, I can't. Oh, there it is. Okay, it appeared off my. Phew. I can see it. No
Okay,
way.
I don't see anybody putting anything in the chat, so.
I'm gonna keep going. It's gonna be a short presentation. All right. Let me not. Maybe it's spelling, and I'll take questions at the end. So okay. So if we do a wallet to wallet, so for the absolute newbies, you keep your crypto in a wallet, let's say, and it's a digital wallet, and so and you like Coinbase, for instance. You've got you've got the platform of Coinbase, and then you have your blockchain, or sorry, your Bitcoin wallet. You've got your Ethereum wallet. You've got your Chiba wallet. You've got several different wallets, and each wallet has an address, and so you send money from one address to another address, like I kind of outlined in the previous slide. So when you're not you're not dealing with fiat here, and I've never really been involved in a wallet transaction, but I've had colleagues who have been, and I always get the same question: well, how does title insurance work with all that? The purchase price has to be shown in fiat. That's the problem. So it's and title insurance it gets a little funky there too. So title insurance, in a cash transaction, is optional. I don't recommend it as a realtor, but you don't necessarily need it to close the deal. Title conveyance on the blockchain has been proven, just FYI. There's a company called Proppy that has done work like that. They put the QR code right on the deed, and then you can reference, you can take a picture of the QR code, and that references the hash right on the blockchain. It's really cool. You can get that instantaneously. But again, title procedures vary from state to state and county to country. And yeah, the biggest roadblock is the purchase price may need to be shown in fiat to get any of this done. So more on title. Like I said, crypto to cash, title is rarely the issue. I do have a title company here that will underwrite a wallet to wallet with a few stipulations. Like somehow we got to show that, like the purchase prices in fiat, whatever that looks like. Because you can record, sending, say, $500,000 or whatever for a condo from a wallet. It'll have the purchase price there, and it's timestamped as a record. But then you run into at the time of settlement, you run into good funds laws. So the title and/or escrow companies, they still need to be able to disperse the funds and remain compliant. So, like for instance, the electric company, they're not going to take Bitcoin. So, and all, taxes, none of that can be paid in Bitcoin right now. So, at some point in the escrow process, the settlement has to be converted to fiat. So, it's a little clunky. There are platforms that are in the very, very near future that are hopefully going to at least start solving all this stuff. like maybe settling in a stable coin or something along those lines. So this is a great story. My first transaction, I had no idea what I was doing. So, you know, my buyer randomly found me online, right? And he was looking in Manhattan Beach, and, you know, we hit it off and went, saw a few houses. And he said, oh, by the way, I'm going to buy this in Bitcoin. And I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to have to figure that out. So we finally found a house, and we wanted to put an offer in. And the first call that I made was to my lender. You know, I had no idea. I was like, oh, have you heard, you know, I've heard of it. I was like, I wasn't a trader or anything. And my lender said, oh, well, just have him transfer the funds out and let them seize it. And that was not an option. It was, you know, we were ready to put in an offer and ready to go into escrow. And, you know, like, we couldn't wait 2-3 months for the funds to seize them. So the escrow company, once it went in, they said, you know, we're not going to touch the funds, but we'll do all the paperwork, we'll do everything else. And the seller's agent, oh my God, like he was convinced that we were just trying to pull one over the entire time from beginning to end, which made it 10 times harder. We literally had a roundtable discussion with the CCO from BitPay, who ended up being our payment processor. All the agents, seller, buyer, company, all sat down and we're like, okay, how are we going to transfer these funds? Because escrow's not going to touch them. The seller was kind of young and hip enough to go, okay, well, I'll open up a BitPay account and I'll just accept the USD directly. Great. So we're riding right along. We're fine for like 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden, the escrow's attorneys got a hold of what we were doing and they kicked us out of escrow. We had about like 7 days to close. And I'm in Hawaii thinking everything's fine, you know, I have this vacation scheduled for months. And it got awfully quiet for a couple of days. So I was getting a little worried. And then my team leader said, hey, we're in the middle of trying to find another escrow. So we did find one. But during this time, at the time that we went into escrow, I believe Bitcoin was at like 750, 760. I thought, oh my God, that's so much money. But then it spiked to, I think, $1,200. And all of a sudden my buyer's got all this money now, you know, so he goes, you know what, I'm going to go down to Orange County and I'm going to buy a Lambo. There's a Lambo dealership down there that takes Bitcoin. And he said, okay, great. Send me the bill of sale. Send me everybody that you talk to, phone numbers, email addresses. I got to have proof, you know. And so I get this proof, and the Lambo receipt actually helped us get the house. And that kind of put everybody's mind at ease that, hey, he bought this, you know, big ticketed item with this, you know, internet nerd money, and, you know, everything was fine. So, you know, the $250,000 car helped us get the $3 million house. It was crazy. And just by the grace of everything, we ended up closing on time. It was insane. So that was my first one. And then all of them after that were a little crazy, but not that crazy. So this is how, right now, this is how crypto is converting. It's the wallets that I mentioned earlier. It's held in a payment protocol compatible wallet. All that means is that the payment processor can talk to the wallet and see what's in there. They can see the wallet behavior, make sure that, you know, you're not sending Bitcoin to, you know, some crooks and God knows where. And, you know, if it's not like erratic, weird, you know, behavior, then, you know, yeah, that's a red flag and they're going to do some major KYC on them. But anyway, they can see the wallet. And we use a processor like BitPay. Right now, I hate to say they're the only game in town. They're great. I'm going to tell you why in the next slide. But BitPay, so the escrow or third party will say has they have a BitPay. They have a BitPay merchant account, and so they send an invoice just like they would a wire transfer instruction through an email to the buyer. And then the buyer sends the Bitcoin through a public key address. Once they hit send, that price is locked in. Doesn't matter what Bitcoin is doing at that moment. You know, there's this big volatility issue. Yeah, we get it. That burden's on the buyer. But once he hits send, that price is locked in. And that goes straight to their reserves. If it's $1 million condo, they'll, you know, take $1 million in Bitcoin, you know, put that in the reserves, and then go to the bank, take $1 million out, and then that point it becomes a wire transfer. And that's it. The downside is from BitPay that they charge a 1% fee. It doesn't matter if it's $5,000 or $5 million, they're going to charge 1% fee to the buyer, which, you know, it can get pretty costly. But, you know, all the people that I've worked with, they are more than happy to convert their crypto into a house, because gosh, they didn't have all this crypto like a year ago. And there are other methods, such as banks now who deal with crypto conversions. There's rigorous KYC protocols you got to go through, and you got to show a certain net worth and all that. And then we're also working on hybrids, like a down payment in crypto and financing in fiat. We're not quite there yet. It's entirely possible. We're just like literally like trying to like jump through the last kind of couple of hoops. I do have a lender here in the South Bay who's actually working on that. So I have 2 clients now that are trying to do it. All right, so here's my BitPay argument. Like I said, they're the only game in town right now. They are SEC compliant and they are registered with FinCEN. I don't know any other payment processor that can, claim that. There's a former SEC chairman who's a board member. They work with all government agencies who request information. It's open text. They convert into 8 fiat currencies and a direct deposit in 38 countries. They've got amazing customer service. So you can actually get somebody on the phone. With a lot of these tech, these prop tech platforms, and it's really hard to get somebody on the phone. You're like emailing, you're creating a ticket and all this other stuff. You can actually get them, and they will walk you through every step of the way. Again, 1% fee regardless of the amount, and the Bitcoin price is immediately locked in. And then they've got a couple of new things. Payments greater than or equal to $3,000 US require further verification. I need to update this because we had something else happen in September. So in September, if it's over 1 million, KYC, your customer protocols are way more stringent. So, when y'all get licenses and you get a crypto buyer and everything, and they want to convert, because there's other options we're going to talk about. They need to go. They've got about and if it's over $1 million, they have about a 2 to 3 week KYC time frame now, which we didn't have that 3 or 4 years ago. In fact, they just started it, and they actually kind of we had a deal go south because they changed it right in the middle of a deal, and that was not good. All right, so here are my other options. You can do a third party. You can do, like custodial wallet, Queen, say attorneys, but they have to have Tier 4 processing verification, like a crypto bank, like Cumberland. I would be so much for them if I were you. They're the ones that actually back Coinbase. They're no joke. These collateralized loan options are getting more and more like prevalent. Aave, Celsius, BlockFi, Nexo, actually Helio lending should be on here. They're kind of an aggregator, and they can talk to your buyer and see like what terms would be best for them, and they would point them in the right direction and then hold their hand through the entire loan process. Wallet to wallet, again, 30 attorneys, they've got to have like major AML KYC practices in place. The reason why we do like BitPay is that they've got all that stuff built in, because KYC is like, you know, as a realtor, you don't want to do that, and the escrow company doesn't want to do that. So you've got to have like a third party do it, or somebody who really knows what they're doing and what they're looking for. All right, so tax implications. Are there any questions up to this point?
Any questions, comments? Looking at the chat, there's nothing there.
Nothing. Yeah, I finally got it up. I don't see anything.
Okay,
right.
I guess
I'm
maybe
gonna
at
keep
the end.
going. I'm gonna keep going. I know this is probably for all the newbies. I can't apologize enough. This is a lot. Okay, so tax implications. This is also a really big question I get. So this is all going to change. It's all very fluid. The tax code, no CPA, but it's really short as far as crypto is concerned. You know, the infrastructure bill was maybe going to fix that, maybe mess up some other stuff, you know, but it's a really gray area right now, because they don't know. They don't know how to deal with it, really. But as it stands right now, Bitcoin is considered a property, and clients have to pay capital gains, whether it's a Bitcoin to cash transaction or even a wallet to wallet transaction, where it's like, you know, the Bitcoin doesn't even see the light of day. It's just, you know, it's maybe a Bitcoin transaction. I think wallet to wallet can be a gray area, but I would say, have your buyer talk to a really good CPA who, knows the ins and outs of tax codes and might be able to offset, the tax implications with something else. I don't know. I sometimes give, opportunity zones as an option for my buyers, that might be able to delay taxes a little bit, maybe 1031 out of some stuff after a couple of years. And collateralized loan options are not taxable events. So they can loan against their crypto, take out the fiat, and then put that towards anything, really. I mean, they don't have to buy a house, they can buy, a motorcycle, or they have credit cards or whatever. But I'd say, I've pointed a lot of people in that direction for these collateralized loan options, because some people don't want to get rid of their crypto. They just, they're like, oh, I can loan against it and then I can get it back at the end. Oh, okay. So one of the downsides of that is that it's a very, very short-term loan. So again, when you come across these people in your career, you're going to have to sit down with them, talk about their short-term and their long-term goals. All right, so this is a fun little case study. This goes to show that nobody knows anything. So this happened about 6 years ago now. I think it's maybe 2016. There's a luxury real estate transaction that was done here in Southern California. I believe it was Orange County. It was purchased with Bitcoin, and it was like a $10 million transaction. The city stepped in and they said, hey, we want taxes on that. The purchase price has to be recorded in fiat. We don't have that. It's just Bitcoin. How are we supposed to know how to tax? So the buyer and the seller said, okay, great. We'll exchange a dollar. So they said, okay, there's your dollar, there's your fiat. You can tax us on that. And they said, oh, no, we want to tax on the 10 million. The value of this house. So the city ended up suing, and it went on for months, I think, and then the buyer finally just offered half, or maybe even less than that, and the city settled. And I don't know of any other, really no judgment that came out of it. Big or blockchain, has become way more prevalent than it was back then. Like I said, it is a legal form of record keeping. It's just that the regulators and the municipalities, they just haven't caught up yet. And I'm really hoping they do at some point. Oh, we have a question. What if someone wants to buy using Bitcoins and then put some reason or another, the seller or buyer don't want to buy the house. Yeah, you can, yes. I mean, so like, you mean after the, like maybe the deposit goes in, or, so if it's like a straight like wallet to wallet transaction, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's where all your lovely disclosures come in, right? You know, you've got to have some stop gaps somewhere. So, you know, upon cancellation, you know, the Bitcoin's got to be a really good question. The Bitcoin's got to be returned, and doesn't matter what it's doing at the time. You know, say if I transferred, you know, the funds before we close, you know, and I signed off on, you know, some of my contingencies, but I changed my mind at the last minute. You know, there's other legal implications, you know, go with that. But, you know, for the sake of argument, hey, I want to cancel. I've already transferred my money. You know, and I transferred it at, you know, 60,000 today. While it's only worth 55 tomorrow, they're going to have to transfer back, you know, the monetary value of the property. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, it's $1 million property, and what the client's doing, you got to give me that $1 million. What about the 1%? So I was talking just like, in that case, I was talking about like wallet to wallet. So like in a BTC to like cash, that's a good question too. Oh, that's a good question. I haven't had that happen, but since it's going through escrow, I would think that they would want to take out their 1% no matter what happens. Or they, you know, usually escrow, you know, I've had a couple of things cancel in the middle of escrow where money needed to be refunded. That they give you a choice, like, do you want to check? Do you want wire transfer? Like, what do you want? It's most likely not going to be back into your wallet at that point because it's already been cashed out into fiat. And so I'm assuming that it's, you know, that I mean, it could run back through BitPay, but I don't see why you'd want to do that. You know, I would just take wire transfer and just be done with it. I hope that helped. All right. Oh, good. Okay, good. All right. So blockchain and disruption. So many cool things that are going on right now. Tokenization. I get a lot of calls for tokenization. Peer-to-peer, fractionalized ownership. I don't want to say it's like a digital REIT, but kind of like a digital REIT. My friend Henry is really into this. Tell me for saying that. But it's the best illustration I can give you. These are platforms that are doing it like right now. You'll see Bertalo Rove is really awesome, and then Riano. Rove, and they're all shared. You know, they're selling off shares to real estate, so they're all governed by the SEC. You know, it's Rove. I think is the only one out of these that has the filing that anybody, not just accredited investors, and I think you can do like as little as a few dollars, which is really cool because it democratizes ownership, and that's the whole point, right? So you've got NFTs. I'm getting into NFTs, and I just love it so much. They are way less expensive than say tokenizing real estate, which is very costly and consuming because you're dealing with the government. They are not NFTs are not under SEC regulations. They have been very successful real estate NFTs. They're very new, but they've been done. And then we've got transaction offers management, title conveyance, escrow services, all of that. It's a fraction of a time. It's going to be, you know, compared to the 30, 45 days that we've got now. And again, blockchain, like I said, is a legal form of record keeping in many states, including California. Wallet-to-wallet transactions are coming. A really good platform is Ubiquity. I like them. I just kind of stand on as an advisor. They're pretty soon they're going to be coming out with a plug and play escrow platform, where people can pay in, Bitcoin or whatever coin, and then we can settle in a stable coin. Which I hope it kind of revolutionizes what we're doing, because it's so clunky right now, and it's going to be clunky for a while. All right, so here are the changes that are coming down the pipe for crypto and real estate. So I talked about the smart contracts. They are programmable rules of the transaction that automate the workflow. The margin of error not only decreases, but it's like, imagine the disclosure, being out and programmable. I mean, it's a huge undertaking, not just in California, but we've got 50 states to deal with. Nobody's quite taken that on yet, because I mean, it's again costly and time consuming. But just imagine, being able to sign off on contingencies, immediately, instead of waiting 30 days, for a regular escrow to close. You can cut that in half, or even more, because everything's automated. It's public and decentralized. Title information can be verified immediately. I had to wait. I'm in the middle of an escrow right now, and it's a commercial property. I know title's backed up now, but for some reason it takes longer for a commercial prelim to come through. I don't like, why isn't it, I don't know. I'm not working on the other end, but I sort of I'm like, God, why is it taking so long? Tokenization and NFTs, way more liquidity and democratized investments, making it accessible to people who did not, otherwise, they couldn't otherwise afford real estate. That's the whole point. And the payment gateways. We're looking at, again, Ubiquity's working on a payment gateway that will hopefully rival BitPay for the fraction of the cost. And yeah, it'll enable you to pay in currency. I bought earrings off of, what was it, Overstock, in Bitcoin a few years ago. They're probably worth like $8,000 now. But you can do it on Overstock. Why wouldn't you be able to do it on something like Zillow or these iBuyer programs? So I have this up for my realtors for already practicing, but because they're always afraid of disintermediation, and they should be, because we're being attacked like every single day with some iBuyer program or something else that's just squeeze us out, or like whatever. It seems like just every other day something's happening. There is a global MLS in the works. It's a long way out, unfortunately. But I think it's blockchain sensitive. So maybe I'm being a little too optimistic. I don't know. But all the information should be accessible. Which would make it, I mean, gosh, I can't, I have people calling me from all over the world, buyers and sellers, wanting to buy, not just in California, but gosh, I had one for like Missouri. I have no idea what's going on. I probably get another 800. So it would be nice to have lender matching on the blockchain. I've got to be able to compete these lenders. Like I said, I've got one. It's usually the smaller ones that are a little bit more open-ended that you can talk to and see what their options might be. I was saying this 2 to 4 years ago. We're 2 to 4 years out from any real change. We're not going away. Our roles are going to change. They already have with COVID. I'm not putting people in my car anymore and driving them around all day long. We're doing most things electronically now. But education is key. You tend to be a lot less scared, when you educate yourself. All right, so this is how to be a crypto agency. So these are the people that you want on your side when you step out into the world and you start doing crypto transactions. So definitely escrow and title. Help them get set up with BitPay and or custodial wallet. too that are already here in SoCal. They'll be happy to work with you. It's a little bit easier because sometimes I talk to people in like Florida, and they don't. A lot of people don't have this where they are, so we're very lucky to have this. Attorney and a CPA. I have a decent attorney in New York that's very well versed in blockchain and crypto. CPA, I don't know. There's one on Twitter. I think it's literally called the CPA or something like that. They're kind of few and far between, but the younger ones are a little bit more hip to this whole thing and can hopefully help your clients. Transaction management. Your entire transaction can be on the blockchain with permissions for different permissions for all the parties for full transparency. So my sellers only see what they need to see, buyers only see what they need to see, escrow can see the whole thing. It's really cool and it's immediate and everything's time stamped and again on the blockchain. Title conveyance as well. Lenders on board. I do, my lender here can count my clients as assets. Very willing to think outside the box. We may not have all of the answers right now, but we're at least talking about it. And those are the people that you want on your side. So, the big guys, I don't know, maybe not so much, but there's even title companies like First American, what's the other one? Stewart. They're very blockchain friendly companies that will hopefully be putting properties up on the blockchain. So this is how you attract your new clientele. Just do your homework. Advertise when you're ready to do this. Get it on your website, social media, but just make sure you can back it up. Don't try just a couple of Ethereum and think, oh my God, I know everything there is now. Get the vernacular, the terms and this, have conversations, get some skin in the game. It doesn't matter where you are. You can, create your own blockchain crypto meetup. There's a ton here in LA, and they're starting back up, which is great. Our IBREA, we're hopefully going to have more meetups next year. This year we kind of took a little bit of a break because we went through with COVID and all that. But there's so much education and people doing this out there, and it's a really cool space to be in. Pay attention to conversations on Discord, Reddit, Clubhouse, Telegram, Facebook, BigCloud, Twitter on here. Why don't I put on? BigCloud, if you haven't heard of it, it's almost like, it's really cool. It's kind of like a Facebook, I guess, or maybe a Twitter for just for crypto people. You get on there, you've got your wall, you can send out posts and stuff like that. And you create your own coin, and you can trade your coin with other people. You can buy other people's coin, and people can buy your coin, and I don't know. And the whole conversation is nothing but about blockchain and crypto. And yeah, I'm always looking for good Florida agents. If you ever have questions, with licenses and everything, I will take referrals all day long. So this is important. This is how you spot a scam. People are clever, or they try to be at least. Buyers, I know a lot of these when I first started. They'll come to you and they'll be like, oh, I've got this coin, that whatever coin that you've never heard of before. And and you gotta give yourself a little leeway here, because you're not going to know a lot of coins when you first start. I don't know a lot. There's thousands of them, but if you've never heard of it, go to like coinmarketcap.com or coingecko.com and look it up. And if it's not there, it's a fake coin. Or even Google the coin, because a lot of times it's going to be like a Ponzi scheme or something, or it might be created on some funky platform, overseas or whatever. But at any rate, it's not trading here. But they insist on paying with it, because it's going to be like worth $1 billion at some point, and they've got to use this coin. No, you're going to have to, what I say is, okay, I love that you love your coin, but you're going to have to swap it for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, or Dogecoin. That's it. Because, even if you're not using BitPay, you got to be able to verify those funds. It's they got to be transparent. And if they still exist, then they're just going to forecast them. Sellers, they refuse to verify ownership and/or identity. I've had both. Like I will not list a property until I see the deed, IDs, passports. If it's in an LLC or something equivalent to that, I want to see the articles of incorporation. I want to see everything that's tied to that before I even and I've got to scour those things out if it's in another language. I got to know that it's yours. And if you're not willing to verify that, then waste your time. I've had lots of examples of that. One guy from Croatia, calls me and says, "Oh, I've got an island, and I'll throw in a yacht too." I'm like, "Yeah, really? Okay, well, I'm going to need to see everything." "Oh, well, I represent the seller. He doesn't want to, come out, and out from behind the veil." I'm like, "Oh, that's fine, because I have to know who your seller is. I'm not going to just put anything up on my website." And bottom line is, if it sounds fishy, it is. Just err on the side of caution. You don't want to get in trouble. Just tell them they're going to have to convert. That's pretty much it. And like I said, CoinMarketCap is a really, really good place to verify coins. So yeah, I would just, if you're interested, I would just say get some skin in the game. I don't care if it's $5. Coinbase is probably the easiest platform there is to trade on. If you like it, you want to go all in, I really suggest getting a cold storage like a Trezor or a Nano to keep it offline. Don't keep it on exchanges. That can be dangerous. But $5-10, see what it's doing. You can still buy cheap at right now for like nothing, and it could be worth like millions in a year. So get in on that. Watch the market. Learn the behavior of crypto. They behave a lot like stocks. Elon Musk will say something amazing about Bitcoin one day, and then it'll shoot up, and then it'll say something bad about it the next day, and then it'll so just watch. Look through the news. Cointelegraph has a great newsletter that they send out daily, which is bullet points, because that's all I've got time for. I'm like you guys. Bitcoin news is really good too. And I think I've got some more resources here at the end. Yep, here they are. Black Geek, Stockton Council, Investopedia is really great. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I know it's 20 miles an hour, so I will take any questions.
Let's thank Piper for her time, and we got about 30 minutes to an hour. If there are any questions, we don't have to use that time, but we don't have to use that time. But you got any questions? You can put it in the chat. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
You showed
Yes,
up.
I have a question.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, I have a question regarding to the cryptocurrency. Beside the Bitcoin, what type of other cryptocurrency they allow right now?
Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me okay? I got a note that my mic was messed up again.
I mean, I'm not here very well. That's why I look on. They have the, like the word appear on the screen, so we can read it.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna stop. Stop share. All right. I just want to adjust my audio settings again. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know why. No. In the system. All right. I don't know. Can you, Hendrik, is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. That's
Sorry,
good.
I just
You sound clear now.
okay. Thank you. Gosh. So right now, the pay is really only deals with like 4 different currencies. They take Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. And that's it.
Oh, so they accept the Dogecoin?
Sorry. Oh, the Dogecoin? Yes. They use the Dog. Yes. Yeah. The Dogecoin. Huh? They do. That's
Oh, they do?
yeah. They
Because I see the
have it.
Dogecoin recently dropped up a lot, so I thought it's not really good coin right now.
Oh, Dogecoin?
Yeah.
No, it's it's funny. It's the same coin. It's like it was created as a joke. But there are people out there that have gotten rich off of it. So and it's become more accepted now. I laughed when I saw that they did it. But hey, if they want to take it, great. There's a lot of people out there that want to buy.
Oh. So beside the Bitcoin, they accept the Ethereum,
Ethereum? Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes, that is correct. So here, I'll type it up. So we take Bitcoin.
Do you have a list of what kind of of the coin they accepted for buying the house right now?
Sorry, what was the question?
Do you have the list of the coin that they accept to buy? Yeah.
It's a very short one, and I'm typing it out right now. So,
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. There they are: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Bitcoin. That's it.
So I see Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum and Dogecoin.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the Bitcoin and the Bitcoin Cash?
I'm sorry, but the question was what's the difference?
Yeah, what the difference between the Bitcoin and the Bitcoin Cash?
Yeah.
Is it two kind of different things?
Yes, two totally different things. So back in 2017, there was a fork in Bitcoin, and so and a fork basically means that it's a new protocol. So think of it, so Bitcoin is the old protocol that's going this way, and Bitcoin Cash is the new protocol that's going this way, right? So whenever that happens, there's a new protocol that's in place, a new coin is created. So they forked off into Bitcoin Cash. So now they're two completely separate coins.
I see. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
So one can purchase a house with cryptocurrency. Yeah, they can. I mean, I can give, back in the day, I can give 2 sheep and a pig for a house, if somebody else agrees to it. And if someone has currency in different ones, it would be best if they did put it all in one, if it was bought with Doge, 88, yeah. I mean, there's listen, I mean, there are more probably buyers out there right now that want to buy in crypto than there are sellers. So, at the end of the day, the sellers probably just going to want cash, unless they're a very, crypto savvy investor and they actually go take it. It's kind of like, it's really iffy. So yeah, it gets a little weird, with and stuff, so say if you had a buyer and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna do half in US dollars and I'm gonna do the other half in I don't know, like euros or something. And they're not gonna, they're gonna be like, well, that's a little weird. I mean, because it's gonna have to convert anyway, because at the end of the day, as it's gonna go with US dollars, right? So it just kind of makes your offer look a little squirrely. So long story short, yeah, I convert all into one. There's the next machine. Yeah, well, I'm gonna say soon. I actually had a buyer I was speaking with last week, and I just we were trying to make it work because my lender here actually deals with a crypto bank, and the biggest problem was if we were to, like, say, do a down payment and crypto and then finance the rest in fiat, the lender still wants to see where those funds came from. So, you know, so we're still kind of stuck in this seasoning period, right? So the best thing to do at the moment is just, even though he's working with the crypto, you know, they would be able to see, you know, that the crypto's there and whatever. They're still saying, no, you need to cash out and using your funds for a couple of months. That's where we're at right now. But yeah, again, you know, we're working on it. So right now, no.
Good questions. Good questions. There's another one.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay. Alexis, Amber, everyone okay? No questions? Oh, okay. So everyone is good with the info.
Great.
Piper, do you mind putting in your email?
Oh, not at all. Yeah, it's
in the chat. And
yeah.
Carla has a question that says, and one can buy internationally if they have enough cryptocurrency? Question mark.
Yeah, you know what, that's the beauty of it. Yeah, I mean, it's cross-border, you know. It's just getting the seller to buy or to take it, you know. So yeah, I mean, that's what I love about it.
And also remember, Carla, there's also the conversion rate from currency, euros to US, US to euros, and whatnot. So you also have to calculate the currency to see if you don't fall short. You know what I'm saying with that, Carla? Yeah. But again, Piper has done, I mean, have you done international transactions, by the way?
No, I have not. All of mine, amazingly enough, have been in California. But, you know, we're going to be closing one in Puerto Rico at the beginning of the year. That's not really international, but yeah, I mean, I've got a ton of listings. But at the end of the day, like, my clients right now, I've got, you know, two in Mexico, I've got one in Uruguay, I've got Uruguay, Puerto Rico. Oh, and then one down in the Caribbean. You know, they want US dollars at the end of the day. You know, they just want to be able to, you know, pass the net out wider to these crypto buyers, you know, because they're all over the place. And they've got these amazing properties that kind of entice that set of investors, right? Ironically enough, they just want cash at the end of the day. Okay, just using crypto. Well, I mean, El Salvador adopted Bitcoin. I mean, in Hong Kong, you know, they've adopted. I mean, it's not like their national currency like El Salvador, but you know, I mean, El Salvador. They're in a lot of, you know, governmental upheaval, I guess you could say. You know, and you know, their fiat just wasn't back. You know, I mean, ours isn't back. You know, if you want to really look at it. But yeah, I mean, in other countries besides here, I mean, it's really easy. Japan is one of them, I think. You know, you can mall and see Bitcoin signs everywhere and pay in Bitcoin. And it's literally just scanning a QR code, you know, that goes straight to your wallet. You know, I've done that before. I've been at like blockchain meetups where, you know, you pay, you know, like maybe it's a $10 admission or something like that. You scan the QR code, you pay for it. So easy. Anyone else?
I don't see any questions. Just a lot of praise, positive comments.
Oh, good. I'm glad, because sometimes like you never know. So it's a lot of information.
Okay. Well, class, let's give a thank you and a clap, virtual clap, if you like, from the reactions button. And thank you, Piper. Once this is finished recording, I will send you the link to the YouTube that I will post on.
Fantastic. All right. Yeah, and feel free to reach out. I know it's going to tell a little bit. You can always email me with questions. More than happy.
Thank you very much.
All right.
In class, if you like the PowerPoint, email her directly. Maybe make some connections and contact. If you have any more questions that you maybe didn't want to ask here, please connect with Piper. Her information is on social media, and also she sent an email right here in the chat, so copy that. And I'll post that email in the conference room. So why don't you go to the, once you log off, go to the Big Blue Button conference, and we'll meet there. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.